When I think of business, it's like if the Chinese have a philosophy, which we actually covered all these pictures. Give before you take.
Okay.
So my thing is like in terms of presenting to the world what we have and going into other cultures. And I think that's actually key in terms of strategy, business, life, that if you want something, you've got to give first.
Yeah.
Give before you take.
So what power move could this region make in terms of having an impact in, say, the halal economy compared to other countries? Because Malaysia's put down its roadmap with regards to halal certification.
Yeah.
And that kind of the standard, right? The blueprint. Like, do you think, what's their play? Tourism, fashion, sport? Like, you know.
In here in this region, in Kazan? They are the home of sports in Russia.
Yeah.
Right? So they consider that the third capital of Russia after St. Petersburg and Moscow.
Yeah.
I think in terms of just how Russia, look, as an American, we hear Central Asia, we don't know what Central Asia is, to be frank.
Yeah.
And I'm someone that's traveled, I've been to more than 50 countries. If you tell me Central Asia, probably like a few years ago, I'd be like, is that like the stands? Right? So you ask like an average American, they won't know what Central Asia is. They'll know what South Asia is, but Central Asia.
And you were saying, like, so for me, it's like 5.5 hours from London to Kazan, but LA to Philadelphia, was it Atlanta? How long was that by plane?
Oh, I mean, from LA to New York is a 5-hour flight.
Okay.
So interesting.
Right.
That's interesting. So he went from London to Moscow, and for
4 hours.
In 4 hours. When I'm in LA, I go to New York, that's 5 hours. So it's always interesting when you look at the superpowers, right?
And how many cultures I've crossed by going, like, you know, France, Germany, Denmark.
I mean, Europe's just a big museum anyways. It's to us, because America, we don't have that kind of history, like that goes centuries.
Oh, that was a compliment. Oh, right.
No, it was what do you call it? A backhand, like I forgot, backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of this region, so to bring my point back, I think it would be like Alhambra, South Spain. It always prides itself of like the golden age, and I think they do that here.
Yeah.
But I think it would really be, and I think they already do it, so I don't even know if I'm just beating a dead horse with it, but a celebration.
He ate horse for the first time yesterday.
Tricked me.
I've eaten so much horse since I've been here.
But I think the celebration.
What did you think of it? Did you like horse? I had an amazing horse steak, but my boss at university.
I think Mr. Ed. I think Mr. Ed, and it's just like, nah. But they have some really good food here. So
horse steak is nice.
Celebration of diversity.
Yeah.
Their history, as well as it's interesting, and you know me because of just how we look at culture, how we look at perceptions, and how to a lot of people, perception is reality.
Yeah.
When you come here and you see the Muslims here, they don't look like the Muslims we typically see in Europe, in the Americas.
And how do they look?
To be stereotypical or to just be general, right? It's like
like beards or
it's like they're
eating spicy food.
They're built like Russian, right? Like thick, tall, strong, but like with Asian features. And we all know that because once I said that, now you got these pictures of people you've met from these countries. But yeah, it's like I come here and it's like a whole city. So when I was in Belarus, I saw a bunch of them at the airport, and they were all looking at me like, "You look like us, but you don't look like."
You look like us, but you're like not tall enough or built enough.
Yeah, no, the women are like my height, so it's like, what makes you think you're so cool with your pocket square? Like, why are you walking around with a sports jacket on?
Yeah.
But in terms of the food, what do you think of the food here besides the horse steak?
It's interesting because it's like it reminds me in some respects of British food because it's quite heavy. They love mashed potatoes, and then the
comfort food.
Yeah, like mashed potatoes inside of pasta shells.
It looked like a taco.
And they have like these triangular pies that I forgot the name of them, but they're like Cornish pasties basically.
Yeah,
It's got meat inside and vegetables and pepper. Sorry? Ishmishmak. There you go. And chak, of course.
And chak.
Chak. And because I joked, I said we had caviar, chak, and a chat, right? No, I like the food. There's like a lot of interesting textures which are European, but they're not European. Like it's like there's like elements of the Mediterranean, of North African, with like some of the soups and everything, like the shorba. They call it shorba, and then there was a dish in Farsi in Iran. It's manto, and they have something which is similar. So there's a lot of different dishes coming from like Persian cuisine, North African, Mediterranean, and then also kind of West European. I like it. Oh, and the soup, chicken noodle soup. These handmade noodles, right? Yeah.
I think the presentation of like what they have to offer, because when you think of the Muslim world, to be frank, we don't think of this part. Like it just happens to be like we think, to be honest, North Africa. We think West Africa to a certain extent, East Africa to a certain extent. Of course, the Arabian Peninsula, up to Syria, Turkey, and then Asia, South Asia, Iran, Southeast Asia. But you don't think China, which has a lot of Muslims. You don't think this region, Kazan, Dagestan, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, you just don't think of Islam. Kazan, not to be disrespectful, but I didn't know Kazan until probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
I just didn't, even though it's considered to be the third capital of Russia. So in terms of what they have to offer, I think it's a very unique perspective because we've just never seen it. And I can imagine that now in the age of Instagram and selfies and hashtag bless, hashtag my life's better than yours, hashtag I travel more than you, this is actually a new frontier for people. It has something to offer that I haven't seen in other countries, the food, as well as just the level of understanding between the cultures, the faiths. It's on the level of like our probably personal lives because we were Christian, so we know Christianity in and out. And then we became Muslim and lived in Muslim countries, have Muslim friends, have Muslim families. Here, it's the same kind of deal.
We're having similar conversations. It's surprisingly easy to fit in. Because people have had that cultural exposure, multicultural, multi-faith. Maybe an element of being the underdog, right? People don't quite know much about you, so you're a lot more culturally aware and sensitive.
It's different than, for example, praying in the middle of Hyde Park or in the middle, like near, Trafalgar Square. People will be like, "Oh, that's a Muslim," and they'll think about it. But here, it's like because they're the intermarrying, the centuries of just really being with each other. Because you can talk a good game, but once you're marrying your children off to other people, it's all become family. So, for example, even though it's not a predominantly Muslim area or region, it's half and half at best. If you were to make prayer out in public, it really is nothing. Like, he's just praying. Whether you're shaman, Zoroastrian, Christian, it's like, oh, he's just praying.
They've really, you've fallen in love with this part of the world.
Because, I know it's weird, but it's the whole Rambo, Ivan Drago.
You've got to go back to your backyard. And
so it is. And then, to be driving in the streets here and to be thinking man, as an American, I'm in Russia.
I know.
And to be, we were talking about this, every one of our friends, people are commenting, you're in Russia? What are you doing in Russia? It's weird because it's more than for an American than being in Cuba. It's it's just I don't know. It's not no man's land, but it's the land of no return. How did you go there? That's why would you go there? So it's really cool, and I've actually really taken to this area. Any final comments? Any ideas, thoughts? You're probably going to be here. He's probably going to be here again next year. We'll be again here next year for meetings, all that. But they love this guy. This guy is taking selfies with everyone. Everyone is telling him, "Oh my God, can I take a picture with you? Oh my God, you look like so and so."
It's the novelty of the hair, right? It's the novelty of the hair.
Black man.
Black Russian.
But
do you know what a Black Russian is?
That's a drink, right?
So I hear.
Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again. We'll probably do some more vlogs from here. Coming to you from Kazan Summit 2018. Take care and be awesome. Peace.